Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. As always, I'm your host, Matt. Thanks for joining me today. If you like what you see, be sure to hit the like on the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel. I got a lot to talk about today. Things that are implications to this Saturday's game against Tottenham. Uh, Lots of big money deals being made. And last but not least, we have some transfer news. So, let's get right to it, shall we? The injury list for Liverpool. Every time it seems to get just a little bit lighter, it becomes that much heavier. This last game against Brighton definitely proved that. We had quite a few injuries and people subbed off due to injury. And one of those men was Dominic Szoboszlai, who I'll kind of get in a little bit more in depth in the next segment. But Szoboszlai, as of right now, according to the report I saw, he has been ruled doubtful. Now, on the other hand, I'm seeing reports on Twitter saying he's likely to start or he's likely to be cleared to start. So I won't know until, well, and we all won't know until we see the final lineup just an hour or so before the game. He picked up an ankle knock and was replaced late in the Brighton game, but luckily showed no serious damage. If he is not going to play against Tottenham, most likely he'll play against Wolves in the 27th, which I'm not going to be too upset about. I would like to have our best players face Wolves to absolutely annihilate that shithole of a club. Endo is another one who has picked up an ankle injury as well. He was injured against Leeds, and Arnslot says he will be absent for weeks. There's no specified return on him yet, and frankly, and I like Endo, don't get me wrong, he has his bad days, but every player does. Losing Endo's not actually a loss, and I say that because Slot barely plays him to begin with. So, and if anything, he comes on the last 10 minutes of a game, including extra time. So, it hurts us as far as sub options go, but Endo is no real loss because he's barely playing the season anyway compared to the previous season, and hell, even when we picked him up in Klopp's last year. So, on top of that, Cody Gakpo suffered an injury, which I've talked about a little bit here and there. A training injury, actually, or a muscle issue. Likely to be out for weeks, unfortunately. Return expected as early as 2026 after the Tottenham match and probably after Wolves as well, which kind of sucks for him. But honestly, I'll be completely frank with you. I don't hate Gakpo, but he has not been up to form this season, and the fact that Slot keeps putting him and starting him in matches is an insult to a lot of players, in my opinion. Gakpo being off, I hope opens Slot's eyes that he's not the only option on the team and should be a sub every now and again. And I think that the Brighton match proved that pretty well because we played pretty well without him. But that's just my opinion. Unfortunately, Joe Gomez is another individual who picked up an injury. It seems like every time he has a nice couple week span of games, picks up an injury and is derailed for a good portion of the season. He's not expected to come back in this coming week. Apparently, he sustained the injury against Brighton, which caused Salah to be subbed on and the formation to switch a little bit. So, although it's not, it's a muscle, it's a soft tissue injury, so who knows how likely he'll be back and when. Obviously, I have not seen any solid reports. All I've been seeing is after the Spurs game. No shit. Frimpong is a shocking name to see on the list because he's had a hamstring injury for what feels like forever, and I think as early as early October it's been. He hasn't played in quite some time. Still working his way back into fitness. He's not expected to be back for the Spurs match, but possibly following the next game, which is Wolves, as his recovery continues. And I've been seeing a lot of news lately that he is going to be. He's been progressing very well, which is good. I think Frimpong is much needed on the squad right now. I'm glad out of all the names that are seem to be doubtful or completely out, we have one that is eventually coming back. Maybe not this week against Spurs, which I would have preferred, but in the near future, which is good. And Mohamed Salah, this is no shocker. He's at AFCON. We don't have to talk too much about this. He'll be back. I think this last game that he had with Brighton was stellar compared to what we've gotten from him previously this season. So I hope that he kicks ass at AFCON and proves the doubters wrong, shuts Jamie Carragher up, and right back to rocking and rolling in a Liverpool shirt. Also, Connor Bradley and Florian Wirtz have also picked up some injuries. So Bradley had a muscle hamstring problem, hence why he's kind of been like in limbo, and that Joe Gomez has been on. He could be back for Tottenham, but we'll have to see because he is also on a suspension right now. I think that's why Joe Gomez was in, not that Bradley was hurt. Not that Bradley was hurt. He was suspended for too many yellow cards, and I think he will more than likely be back because I think this period of time he's been gone probably healed up whatever was ailing him a little bit anyway. Wirtz apparently has been playing with an injury because he sustained a muscle injury during international duty, and recovery timeline varies. Clearly, he's been playing significant time, so I don't think it's bothering him all that much, if at all. So, unless this is an old injury that's being reported here. So, I find it highly doubtful that Wirtz is in dire straits, that he's not going to play in some capacity this Saturday. Szoboszlai, though, is going to be the topic of conversation as of right now because he's been our best player on the team. And without our best player, in my humble opinion and many other people's opinions in the fandom, we might struggle a little bit against Tottenham because he's not only played right back for us, he's been more than stellar in the midfield. So we're losing two key options right now, right there. I'm doing the finger guns, but really I'm supposed to be doing this. So two key options are gone right there for his position. And if he does come back, I don't know what he'll play. Odds are it might be a midfield position. I don't think he'll be playing defense, especially if Bradley is rumored to come back. But I'm not super... I mean, the injury is reported to be not long-term. And honestly, the fact that he's played as many minutes as he has, I think I heard a statistic that he has not missed a single minute in any competition, whether it be for Premier League or anything else. So he's been our Iron Man this season, and I think at some point maybe his body broke down a little bit on him, taking a hit, and probably needed a little bit of a break. And hopefully his training has been progressing in the sense where maybe he might start on Saturday. If he misses, he's expected to return for Wolves, which that would be great. Seeing Wolves suffer and getting shit on by Szoboszlai would be fantastic. But why does this matter for Tottenham, though? So, like I said, one of our most reliable players we've had this season, and he's been a tactical linchpin, if anything. I mean, he's been probably amongst the major glue that is forming this team right now, which seems to be being held together with tape and staples. But that little bit of glue keeping everything together is Dominik Szoboszlai. He's playing 4 different positions. I mentioned probably a couple of midfield positions, defensive positions. Obviously, like I said, emergency right back when needed. And I think he does a very good job playing right back. Not only is losing him a problem for those positions, but it's also a problem in the sense that we don't have Mohamed Salah for a couple of weeks. So, our options are fairly limited now as it is. I hope that Slot finds a way to tactically put something together. And I hope that Szoboszlai is fit enough. Like I said, reports have been varying. 1 minute he's doubtful. Next minute it seems a little bit more likely than it did earlier in the day. So we are just going to have to see. If he does start, I would like to see him in the midfield. Like I said, I think the defense is going to be asking too much of him at that point in time. Defense is probably where you'll pick up a lot of injuries anyway, and probably midfield too. But I think he's a bit stronger in the midfield, especially as an offensive threat more than anything. So we're going to have to figure this out. The good news is it's not a particularly massive crisis. You know, he's not hurt for weeks on end like some of these guys have been. He's just a little bit banged up, probably a little wear and tear from the season, and a hit or two probably was a little bit too much for him. You know, it happens to the best of athletes. Some guys go too hard, and sometimes, you know, God forbid they get hurt. So it's the name of the game. And hopefully Liverpool will have a little bit of money to supplement our depth issues that we are having this season, as Fenway Sports Group is making some major money moves ahead of the transfer window. So, as we all know, FSG is the owners of Liverpool. What I did not know is they own the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are actually their value is about 1.7 billion, which is double what they paid for it a few years ago. I think it was like 2021 or something along those lines, where they bought FSG bought the Penguins for 900 million, which I'm not going to lie, I'm actually surprised they boosted so far up in that short amount of time, because the Penguins haven't been that good the last few years. Like, the Penguins suck. They've been an absolute dinosaur enclosure of a team with all these old-ass names that were on there for a while, and Sidney Crosby's probably the mainstay as far as the dinosaurs go, as good as he is, but I gotta be honest, I'm shocked to see the value of the team double as far as it has. Maybe it's because of inflation, I'm not sure, but after the loss they had against the Sharks this past weekend, where they blew a 5-1 goal lead, I think FSG was like, maybe we don't need them on our payroll anymore. I hope that's the reason, because as a Rangers fan, that would just make me laugh, to be honest with you. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember if it was 2021 or 2022. Actually, I think it was 2022 is when the Rangers beat them in that really epic first round of the playoffs, which we would move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think, that year. But not that I'm rubbing salt in the wound or anything, but let's just say the Penguins have not had the greatest of luck since FSG has been the owner of them. I'm not even sure if they've won the Cup since like 2016 or 2017, maybe even 2018. To be honest, it's been a long time. It's been almost 10 years at this point, to my recollection. So either way, the deal is agreed upon, and there's a final confirmation we could be expecting soon. Gary Bettman, who is the NHL commissioner, has asked all parties to stay quiet until the deal is finalized. Why does this matter for the boys in red? So not only does FSG double their investment and get that back in the 1.7 billion, it frees up a lot of capital for them. Capital and borrowing capacity, and it simplifies their sports portfolio, fewer teams to fund, so on and so forth, which will allow them to have more sustainable spending, clear financial headroom and path, and honestly, hopefully it won't result in any reckless spending splurges. Now, realistically, how this can work for us is we have a much higher transfer budget now, because I'm not sure what we had before, but when you have what is essentially the biggest record transfer window in the history of the Premier League, what we had this past summer, whether it's panned out or not is irrelevant. I mean, money-wise, it was a lot of money we spent. It's an insane amount of money we spent. And that amount of money could be just as much for this transfer window coming up in January. Contract renewals are a big thing. As I recall, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai are in the process of trying to sign new deals, or they're trying to get them in the process of signing new deals. We don't know what's going on with Van Dijk and Mo Salah yet. Maybe that those contracts open up after this season. We'll have to see, as sad as that sounds to say. It is a realistic possibility. And of course, we can pick up much needed players like Mark Gahey and others who I will mention in just a few moments. But what this does not mean is that this could actually happen in the first place. There's no definite answer that we're going to be spending, hundreds of millions of dollars. I was going to say thousands. I was like, what am I talking about? This is the Premier League. Hundreds of millions of dollars again. I highly doubt it. I think we'll spend a lot of money, but I don't think we're going to be spending nearly as much as we did this past summer transfer window. I mean, it was nearly $500 million. If we even spend anywhere close to $300 million, I'll be shocked. But I'll be thankful if we can get the players we need in order to help us get further up in the table, at least get us in the top four. That's what I need. I want us to stay in Champions League contention. That's what I need from the Liverpool and FSG with these new signings. Get us enough money to sign good enough players to put us in the top four, at the very least top five, so we can make the Europa League. But beggars can't be choosers, okay? And if you really think about it, because I'm gonna drop some financial knowledge on you guys. When FSG bought Liverpool in 2010, they bought it for $400 million. Okay? It's a lot of money for that time. Let's say that. Since that time, they have won 2 Premier League championships, 1 Champions League, and multiple domestic trophies as well. So imagine how much their value has skyrocketed. Okay? If the Pittsburgh Penguins, in probably some of their lowest years in recent memory, because they were a dynasty in the 2010s, okay? They were a dynasty. I hate the Penguins with a passion, but even I could admit that. Granted, the draft cut was kind of in their favor. Rigged. Sorry, did I say that? If the Pittsburgh Penguins can double their value in probably some of their worst years as of recent memory, Liverpool has probably tripled, if not quadrupled that, given the championships they have won. So I hope that this deal goes through and is finalized. I think it is going to go through. I hope it results in a pretty solid spending window, but I don't expect it to be summer transfer level. Like I said, I'll be shocked if we even hit the 300 million mark. But again, I'm looking to be pleasantly surprised. I would like that money to be spent elsewhere as far as keeping players we want on the team. And I think that's the route that they're going, which this is a very smart financial move by FSG. I can't say it, or I couldn't have thought of it any better. And I know nothing about money. Look at my budget. There is none. But as far as trying to get other players to sign for the team, a trusted source on X, or Twitter, have said that Liverpool and Man City have agreed to personal terms with transfer standout Semenyo. United's also monitoring the situation, but they have not advanced talks. Semenyo has been having a very good year, 7 Premier League goals and one of Bournemouth's standout players. Bournemouth have a $65 million release clause to let him go. So, unlike Mark Gahey, who I am fully on board with him coming on the team, Semenyo I have trouble thinking about here, because we have enough problems trying to fit all of our strikers as it is, okay? How to make them all work with each other. Gakpo is clearly having a rough season. I don't care what anybody says. He might be Slot's son, but he's pretty fucking bad this season. And I hope this injury helps him not only heal up pretty well, but make him get better as a player, because it's like watching slow motion here. Honestly, it's terrible. Ekatike has probably been our best striker of the year so far. One of our Iron Men, as I said with Szoboszlai, he's been one of our guys, and he's going to continue to be one of our guys for a very long time, as long as he's a part of this club. This guy is the future. He's a young kid, and I think he's going to be a massive standout in the years to come. We signed Alexander Isak, man, and Alexander Isak has not done a goddamn thing for us. I think he's got 2 goals total in any competition, which is sad to say. All right. And then what else do we got? I don't even know. I mean, we have Chiesa, who doesn't play because Slot doesn't play him, and he puts in more effort to try and score goals and defend more than anybody on that damn team. It's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot. We're kind of like, I don't even know who's on our striking core at this point, because it's just been so bad. I mean, Salah too, but he's gone right now, so I don't really classify him. I'm talking about the right now. And we're kind of fucked. The more I think about it. Oh no, this is not great. But is Semenyo going to be part of the Liverpool team? It seems like personal terms have been agreed upon as of recently. That does not mean a deal is going to get done, though, ladies and gentlemen. I have seen this quite a bit. I did see this a little bit when we were trying to sign Gahey towards the end of the summer window, how they talked about, personal terms and things of that nature, and clearly the deal did not go through the way we would have hoped it would have. Granted, I don't blame Crystal Palace for doing what they did, because, let's be honest, we waited too long to sign him. But the fact that a player's camp is sounding out that the way that they are is a pretty solid sign for talks going forward. I really hope that Man City is not going to be an option here, because the fact that City is also a name being talked about makes me worried. I mean, City has a solid striking crew in their own right. They've done really well this season. Granted, they've had struggles, but they certainly score more goals than we do. Having Semenyo go to City would be a kick in the balls for us, frankly. So I was not too keen signing Semenyo earlier, as I said. Now that I've kind of listed out who's on our striking right now, and how they're performing, I mean, 7 goals on the year isn't all that bad if you really think about it. I don't even think half of our team has 7 goals in individual statistics. So I'm not going to be too upset with the fact that Semenyo might be part of this team. But no contract's been signed yet. And of course, if you guys keep it here to Liverpool Latest, I will be here to talk about it. Unfortunately, this goes back to money once again. Semenyo will not go away cheaply, and it's going to cost us a lot of money to give the Bournemouth. And as financially stable as they are, and this new deal is going down with selling the Penguins, I'm willing to spend good money for Semenyo right now. And I wasn't saying that a couple of weeks ago, but that was before Salah went to AFCON. So I'm all in on this a little bit more. Maybe not all in, but I'm certainly seeing the vision more than I did weeks prior. So we'll have to see where we land. There's a bunch more notes on the subject, but I don't want this video to go longer than it needs to be. You know my thoughts. You know my opinions. I don't have to tell you it's already on the internet any more than you can search it up for yourselves. With that being said, thank you very much for checking out today's episode. I will see you guys on the next one. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the channel, myself, and Fan Arch out very much so. As always, Reds, you'll never walk alone.